Hi guys, pull up a chair. This is going to be amazing. We're going to be looking at the power of potential on week 5 of this great breakout series. David Goggins, the world champion fitness freak, once said that 60% of our potential was untapped. What if I could prove to you today that 60% of the wealth of potential that was born in you in your mother's womb is still waiting to be untapped? Untapped creativity, untapped genius, untapped ideas, untapped resources, untapped dreams and visions. That's where we're going today, and I hope by the end of that you begin a whole new journey of unleashing the amazing potential within you. I have a seed in my hand here, and if I asked some people on the street to tell me, hey, what do you see when you look at that seed? Some people would say, hey, what I see is a seed. Other people would look at that and say, well, you know, when I look into that seed, I see a tree. But those who have eyes to see potential will look at that seed and say, I see a whole forest, because inside that one seed is a whole forest. I wonder if you could have been that person that looked at a cow and saw the potential there and was able to see the shoes that you have on your feet right now was buried deep in that cow. I wonder if who the person was that looked at the sheep in the field and saw the potential there. And they saw that the beautiful little cardigan you're knitting or you're wearing was buried deep in the potential of that sheep. We're coming to you today again from the kingdom of 5, and there's a little boy in this town, in the ancient capital of Dunfermline, and nobody would have given anything for him because he was the only boy, the story goes, that was banned from entering the local beautiful park, which has just been voted the #1 park in Scotland by some people. But he was not allowed in there. But that little boy could have given up in that moment. But he dug deep and he looked deep down inside himself, and he tapped into the 60% of untapped potential deep within him. Who could have guessed that deep down inside that one seed, that one boy, were railway lines all the way across America and the potential to be the richest man in the whole world? That's the potential that was in one boy called Andrew Carnegie. Now, what would happen if you discovered today you also were that seed one day, and you were in a competition one day with millions of other seeds, millions, and you were chasing one single egg, and only one of you could reach that egg. And guess what? You whacked everybody in sight, and you lay hold of that egg. In other words, you were Olympic world champion long before you were even born. What I'm trying to say is that your maker put deep within you a wealth of creativity, a wealth of potential, a wealth of dreams and visions and possibilities. You know, there's two kind of people in this world. There are those that have the eyes of potential and they see a solution in every problem. And there are others who have not tapped into that potential and they see a problem in every solution. And here is the thing. Today, I want to show you how to ignite that untapped potential that's deep within you. And it's going to be amazing. Because one man, the former president of America, Jimmy Carter, I believe it was, who looked at the peanut when the crops were failing and America was in trouble, and he was able to see more than 1,000 uses for the peanut. Now, what about you? Who told you you'd shot your bolt? Who told you you had used up everything you have? Who told you you have no more potential? Who told you this is as far as you could go? When I turned 60 years of age, I'd done so many great things, but I sat down one day and wrote out a whole new 30-year plan to dig deep and untap the potential within me to influence all 7 spheres of society in every nation I could. You may ask, well, what on earth has the average human being got to do that? Just one thing, and that's all you need, and it's kindness. It's kindness. And if all you do is bring a touch of kindness to government, to education, to creativity, to family, wherever it is you are operating, then you have the power to transform that situation. And so I want to share with you today how to untap that potential within you and how to unleash it and how to begin a whole new journey. Now, you all know, I'm sure, about the man, Colonel Sanders, who got his last paycheck, few dollars, and all he had was a recipe. But he looked down, deep down inside that recipe, and he saw a chain of KFC restaurants all around the world. And I want to encourage you that today you are going to begin the journey of ignoring what people have said to you that you can't do, of ignoring what people have told you are your limitations, of ignoring what your mind tells you. My wife, when I met her at 17 years of age, she told me that she had struggled academically, struggled and was the shyest person on the planet. Her worst moment was when she came home with 5 D's, not A's, not B, not C, but 5 D's on her report card, terrified to tell her family and show this card of shame. But guess what? She dug deep into her potential, and the day came where she saw that potential, began to speak in public. And one time she spoke and brought greetings to 65,000 ladies in the World Cup Stadium in Peru. And it was so thrilling to see people's potential. One young man I used to mentor some years ago, he struggled to see that potential. He struggled to see what would happen. And guess what? One day, only 5 years ago, he discovered that potential was inside him. He unleashed it, and he went on to build a coaching academy that's one of the fastest growing coaching academies in the world. But you might be looking at me and saying, well, this is all great. This is wonderful. But at the moment where I'm at in my life right now is this. I can't see that happening. I can't see it. I have got no resources, no finances, no confidence, no health. In fact, if I'm being honest, my whole life is pretty much gone to pot. Okay, well, let's go to the pot, because one day, 50 years ago, this pot sat on a scrap heap. One of those scrap heaps that was left behind when a gypsy settlement was finished at Fishcross near Dollar in Scotland, and this was thrown on the top of the pile, discarded like some of you feel deep down inside. No good to nobody. I don't know how many cars drove past this thing. I don't know how many people rejected this pot. But this pot lay on top of that pile. We were in our very first year of marriage, and we were at that place where we were happy to use whatever we could find, wherever we could find it. I brought this pot home to my beautiful wife Elma, all excited, thinking she would be too. She was a cook by profession. Let's just say this pot wasn't in great condition at the time, but guess what? We cleaned this thing up, and this pot, we've replaced all kinds of pots and pans in the house. We've replaced all our furniture over and again. We've replaced our clothes. But the one thing we have never ever and would never ever replace is this pot. Because where some people saw a piece of scrap on a scrap heap, and that's how you and I feel sometimes when we don't see the potential that's been put in us. But this pot is the pride and joy of our home, because for 50 solid years coming up, this amazing pot has served up winter Scotch broths and soups of every kind you can imagine for a family, for our guests, for everyone and anyone that enters our door on Soup Day here in the Kingdom of Fife in Scotland. Imagine if you looked in the mirror today and thought to yourself, well, that's me. That's me. I'm off the pot and I'm no good. In fact, I've been rejected by this one, thrown aside by this one. Life is thrown aside me at this moment. But what if you could look at what others have thrown away and others have rejected, and you could look deep down inside and see what nobody else can see, that you're that pot. You are that one that can be a brilliant difference maker for the next 50 years or whatever. Because when you begin to dig deep inside you and see that if an old pot thrown in a scrap heap could be the source of one of the greatest blessings to a whole bunch of families for years and years and years, what on earth could happen to your life and the life of everyone around you if you made a decision to dig deep within you, like Andrew Carnegie did, like that great life coach Kane did, like we did the day we got that pot. So here's what I want to encourage you to do. I want you to take that gap that's inside you, that's causing all your anxiety, all your depression, all your insecurities, all your worries, and all your fears. That gap, and I want you to zap that gap with a fresh visitation and fresh new eyes today. I want you to begin to dream again, to think again, to imagine again, and to plan again, to do something outside your comfort zone, amazing with your life, that would radically transform your world and the world of everybody else round about you. Now, imagine if you could do this. Dig deep down inside you. Andrew Carnegie just dreamt of giving free libraries and free parks to all those little boys like him who didn't have a park. And so to find out what your purpose is in their life and your calling in this life, just dig deep down inside you and begin to think, what did I really, really, really enjoy as a child and as a youth growing up? And how could I take that thing and begin to turn it into a plan to improve somebody's life in some shape or form, and express your gift of kindness through that thing, and as a result begin to unleash that incredible creativity, that incredible potential, that incredible wisdom, that incredible ingenious, that incredible talent, yes, you, that's deep inside you. What if you made a decision today that went something like this? Well, I don't know where to start, and I don't know what the outcome's going to be, but I'm going to zap that gap that's inside me. I'm fed up with people zapping it with what I can't do, what I shouldn't do, what I'm unable to do. But I want you to dig deep and stir up your confidence once again. Stir up your dreams once again. Stir up your beliefs once again in yourself and dig deep. So let me finish with this. You have no idea how much your life is going to be radically transformed the moment you get alone, get yourself a nice little cortado or a little refreshment of some kind, relax and begin to dream. Begin to dream of what you love to do, to make somebody happy, to encourage somebody, to bless somebody, to make somebody's day. It could be making a little thing, it could be writing a little thing, it could be speaking a little thing. Who in the right mind could look at one of your iPhones or whatever phone you have? Imagine if the keyboard on the iPhone says, hey, I don't want to be a keyboard, I want to be the microphone. What if the microphone said, hey, I'm fed up being a microphone all my life, I want to be the speaker and speak to everybody. Hey, don't compare yourself with nobody. Don't put yourself down for what your gifts and your talents are. Your gifts and talents are explosively unique and special, especially if they operate through you. And every single one of you has that potential. So let me encourage you today. Begin today to blank every single negative thing that's ever been said to you, everything that's come into your mind, every single negative thing about your circumstances. Take an A4 sheet of paper, take a pencil, begin to dream. Write down that one thing you love to do. Begin to dream. Begin to think about it. Begin to imagine how you could use it. And then begin to plan to just improve your life and one other person's. And as you express that gift, that talent, that genius, and that gift, before you know it, you're improving 2 persons, 3 persons. All kinds of people in your world begin to get a brand new life, a brand new hope, and a brand new journey because you first went through the wall of unbelief, tapped into that potential, and unleashed that dream, that creativity, that spontaneity, that uniqueness that your Maker put inside in your mother's womb. Yes, you can do it, and yes, you can do it brilliantly, and yes, you can be a blessing to your own life and to the life of everyone around you, no matter what anybody says. So to begin today, make a decision. Never again am I going to settle for my life being in that place where everything has gone to pot. I'm going to leap deep inside that pot and unleash its potential and be that source of refreshing to myself, to everybody in my world around me. You can do it. You can do it, and you can start it today. And in due course, I will do another series called Zap the Gap, where I'll give you even more tools on how to unleash your potential. But you don't have to wait. You can begin today. So guys, on you go, sharpen your pencil and make it work and begin to see a whole new world of possibilities open up for you and everybody else in your world. Have a great day, have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.